Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is April 14, 2024, and we are getting into the volume 194 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mentioned in every video on this channel, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question comment from Kamran Bashir. Hello sir, thank you for your concentration on my previous comment in volume 190. My priority date is 17 July 2003 and documentarily qualified in 2023, F4 visa category. In your last video you said that if I belong from Philippines then I have just 1 month left for my interview appointment. No, I'm from Pakistan, and I tell you that I also delayed my visa case about 4 to 5 years for some reason. Now my children are aging out and they are not in CSPA, so please tell me what should I do. Kamran, thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it. So let's take a look in all chargeability, see what's going on, and just by how much you delayed it. So yeah, F4 looks like it's in July 2007 right now, the priority dates that are becoming current. And your priority date is in July 2003. So yeah, you're about 4 years overdue for sure. I wonder what happened in your case that caused so much delay. As far as your children question, it's really hard, with derivative beneficiaries in general when it comes to the family preference categories that are passed. I would say really F2B. Well, F2B you have to be unmarried, but you still can have children as derivative beneficiaries. F3, F4, just because the backlog is so long, and just because CSPA, the only time frame that it freezes is how long your petition is pending with USCIS, and really it very rarely it is enough that time to subtract, unless your kids were really young and unless your petition was held at USCIS for a long time. So the best case scenario that you're looking at is once you get your immigrant visa, once you come into the United States, as soon as you come into the United States with your I-551 stamp, that is your immigrant visa that you will hopefully receive soon. Now that you're documentarily qualified, you've been documentarily qualified for, well, you said it's in 2023, so potentially a year. And since your immigrant visa is already available, that means that US Embassy in Pakistan, they are already, most likely have your interview already scheduled. You just don't know it yet because they can only notify you 30 days before the interview date, because you have to do the medical examination within 30 days before the interview. So once you come in to the United States with your immigrant visa automatically turns into a temporary permanent resident card. So you are a permanent resident as you enter the country. And once you do, then you can start your own petition for your children. And that's really the best case scenario that you're looking at. Potentially, you would have to wait until naturalization to, because here's the thing, F2B is only unmarried sons and daughters over 21. So if your children are married already, then you would have to wait until you become a US citizen to petition for them. That's why I say that. But as of right now, there is really not much that you can do. Just wait for the interview to be scheduled. As far as I know from the comments that I received from people who are in Pakistan, US Embassy in Islamabad, they're quite busy. So you might, if you were documentarily qualified in 2023, you might potentially have another somewhere possibly a year to wait for the interview to be scheduled. But that's really, you already done most of the waiting and you did quite a lot of it. So even if it is potentially a year, it's a lot less than what you've already waited for, so you're pretty close. All right, let's move on to the next one from Funny Clips 5105. Hello sir, please answer my question. My father is applying for F4 visa ROW, priority date 07 June 2007, documentarily qualified 13 April 2023 from Morocco. We still receive that our case is in line for an interview every 60 days. Yep. First one, 12 February 2024. Second email, 12 April 2024. When approximately do you think we will receive our interview date? Okay, so yeah, sometimes they do send those 60-day notices. Honestly, I'm not sure why they do it. I personally, for the cases that I was, personally involved in, I never seen those, but I do get a lot from commenters on this channel saying that they do receive these notices, which are really boilerplate notices. They don't really mean anything. But let me take a look at your priority date, and it is F4 June 2007. So we are on March 2008. So your father's immigrant visa, I think you said your father, yeah, your father applying for F4 has been now for more than a year. Sorry, my math is bad. So close to a year available, which means that the interview has been scheduled for quite some time now, and it's confirmed by the documentary qualification date, which was a year ago, exactly a year ago. So I would say, yeah, there is potential depending on how busy the U.S. Embassy is in Morocco, but so there is potential for another significant time waiting for the interview to be scheduled, because typically if it's not as heavy immigration traffic country, typically it is between 6 months and 12 months that these immigration interviews are scheduled. But in some countries where heavier immigration traffic, we can potentially look at 2 years, 2.5 years. Like from Philippines, for example, people are waiting as long as 2.5 years for their interviews. So the best thing to do in your situation, if you want, you can reach out, or your father in this case can reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Morocco and say, hey guys, I've been documentarily qualified, my immigrant visa is already available, my priority date is current, I've been waiting for over a year now after documentary qualification, so I was wondering if you can give me the date when my interview was scheduled. Now, they don't always give out that information over the phone. Most of the times they say we can't give you that information, but it is worth a try if you're polite, professional over the phone, because for them, they can look into the system, and if you were already scheduled, they can just say, hey, you were scheduled for whenever, because it's unofficial announcement, and they can only make official interview announcement 30 days before an interview. Very rarely 60 days, but most of the times it is 30 days. So really depends on the US Embassy to answer your question. Since he's been waiting already for about a year now, the immigrant visa, I would say probably within 6 months you're looking at the interview. But again, this is just judging on, I don't know how busy US Embassy is in Morocco, but the best case scenario, honestly, if somebody is watching this video and they're also from Morocco and they have, they waited for their interview and they had their interview scheduled, that would be nice if you guys can chime in and share your personal experience, how long you waited for the interview. All right, let's move on to the next one from Advitya Janwal. Hello, sir. Thanks so much for answering my question. I got a little confusion. As I said, I came in F2A category and my dad became citizen now. My dad filed I-130 when I was 20 years old, and there were just few months left for me becoming 21 years old. Oh, so my priority date was April 21, 2023, and in August 2023, I was going to turn 21. So will I be considered minor or in F1? Someone said that my age is gonna freeze. I'm from Delhi, India though. Thank you. Okay, Advitya, thank you for clarifying this. So yeah, there is a little bit of complication, I would say, in your situations. It's not as straightforward. Because here's the thing. When a US citizen petitions for their child, obviously under 21, yes, the age is frozen immediately as soon as the petition is received by USCIS, because it is immediate relative category. However, in your situation, it was your dad permanent resident petitioning for you. And as a permanent resident, you only have that CSPA that qualifies you to be under 21 if you can subtract the amount of depending how long the I-130 petition was pending with USAS. So it is a little bit of complicated. Honestly, I would definitely reach out even more so to the NVC through the public inquiry form and clarify directly with them, because at this point we can only speculate whether or not they will consider you right now. Yes, your case is now technically should have been in immediate relative category because your dad filed a petition before you were 21. However, at the time when your dad filed the petition, he was not a US citizen, he was a permanent resident, so you were in F2A category. So they can upgrade your F2A to either F1 if they say, nope, it's not gonna slide because your dad was a permanent resident and turned US citizen after you became 21, all right? Or they might say, no, you know what, since your dad was upgraded to, a naturalized US citizen, then we will keep you an immediate relative. And if not, then yeah, it will be switched to the F1, which is definitely not such good news because there's a longer wait for F1, and then you are dealing with the visa backlog. And if your priority date is in April 2023, F1, looking at the graph A, you have, and you're from India, so it doesn't matter, all chargeability India is the same for F1. July 2015, so you are looking potentially at quite a long wait time. So yeah, I would definitely recommend reaching out to the NVC directly and bringing that up and see what they say. And once you do hear back from them, I would really appreciate what they say, because this is not as a straightforward case. Because it can go both ways, and hopefully it does go in your favor. Hopefully they do consider you now in immediate relative category because a petition was filed before you were 21. But again, they might say, no, your dad was permanent resident when the petition was filed, and he turned US citizen after you became 21. So we can only change it to F1 category. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But again, please provide an update. I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Violetta Malobo 5984. Hi sir, thanks for your work. My husband priority date is July 25, 2021. He's documentarily qualified since July 2023. Actually, for F2A, the priority date is June 2021. Do you think he can have his interview this year to Paris consulate? All right, let's take a look, double check, see if it really is June. Okay, so F2A is June 2021. And his priority date is July, so June, July. So it looks like there is another month, hopefully another month, if we see consistent movement on the visa bulletin next month. Hopefully, your husband priority date is going to be current. So once it is current, the immigrant visa becomes available. Once the immigrant visa is available, the interview is scheduled. Now, the interview time, wait times, they heavily depend on how busy the US Embassy is, and I'm assuming in Paris, they're quite busy. So is it possible to get interview this year? Yes, absolutely it is possible, because on average, anywhere between 6 months to 12 months. The cases that I've personally been involved in, 9 months. So really in the middle between those two. I've seen some even faster, and like I said, in some busier countries, it can take a lot longer. Is it possible this year? Yes, absolutely. Because if it becomes next month available, we are in May, so you still have another 6-7 months until the end of the year. So it is possible. But I would say more realistically, you are looking somewhere probably closer to the mid next year. But then again, it's a speculation, and really the only people that can more accurately tell you is someone who is in the same category as you are and who had their interviews already scheduled in Paris consulate specifically. Because again, from each different consulate, each different US embassy, the times vary depending on their availability. So if anyone is in that category, if anyone had their interview scheduled in Paris, I'd really appreciate you jumping in and sharing your experience and how long you've been waiting. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's a wait game. All right, let's move on to the next one from Chad Leslie 9955. Good morning, sir. You're doing a great job. Keep up. My question is, I'm on F3. I live in Jamaica. My mom lives in the US. My priority date is March 2011. There at June 2010. I live in Jamaica. How long will it take for me to get through or to get a reply? Okay, so let's double check the F3 all chargeability. F3 chargeability is on January 2010. And your priority date is in March 2011. So you're looking roughly at another year before your priority date becomes current. Hopefully we see the consistent movement on the visa bulletin. But you have because you're in March 2011 and right now we are on January 2010. So 1 year, is it more? January to March, yeah. So January, February, March. So 1 year and roughly 2-3 more months. If we see a consistent movement, which is 1 month every month. Hopefully we see faster. That's why it's rough estimates, but that's what we are looking at. And then obviously, again, keep in mind that even after your priority date becomes current, there is still time before the interview is scheduled. So you potentially are looking at anywhere between 6 months to a year, potentially longer, year and a half, depending on how busy the US Embassy is. Okay, moving further to Faisal Tahiru. Thank you for the update. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. Princess B, thank you, Princess B, for being public subscriber. Appreciate that. So Princess B says, a pleasant good morning to you. Good morning to you as well. I want to thank you so much for your response to my question. It means so much to me. God bless you, Princess. God bless. Thank you. I'm glad that was helpful. Okay, moving further to Kalpana Pranavi. Sorry, mispronouncing the name. Thank you so much for your reply, sir. It's great you're giving your time for us, sir. I already got 60-day mail from NVC 50 days back. I have even sent mail to Mumbai NVC 2 weeks back. My husband sent expedited request to NVC explaining our scenario and got mail saying USCIS and Mumbai consulate will take decision to accept or reject expedited request. What can we expect now? Kalpana Pranavi, here's the thing. Whenever it comes to the expedited request with the NVC, recently they made an update. And I'm saying recently because I think like only 6 months ago I was doing a video on how to submit an NVC expedited request. And they specifically said in there that if your child is aging out, you can submit an expedited request. However, now it doesn't say that. Now the only reason that you can submit that expedited request is if there is life or death medical emergency. And that's on their Department of State website. I have done video just, I think last week on, I updated because I had to update it. So that is definitely disappointing because it limits the amount of people that qualify to submit that expedited request. So really at this point there isn't really much you can do. It's really just a wait game. It is unfortunate, but that's really how it is whenever it comes to especially people dealing with visa backlog. So anybody in the 4 family preference category, and I can personally relate because I do have myself a case that is gonna be another, I think 12-13 years still to wait on. So yeah, I definitely understand what it feels like to wait. I'm an immigrant myself, but yeah, at this point really you have done everything and there is really not much you can do but wait. So hopefully it doesn't take any much longer. So yeah, just wishing everyone who's waiting some patience. It's not easy, but that's really all we have. Okay, moving further to the next one from Past Kafor Wasi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Hi sir, my case has been documentarily qualified since June 4, 2021 and my priority date is December 2, 2019. F2A category and my chargeability area is Liberia, Monrovia. When you think I should expect my interview date? Okay, let's take a look, make sure it is current. So F2A, so you're in all chargeability area. So F2A, good news that you're already documentarily qualified and have been documentarily qualified for close to 3 years now, which is definitely great news, which means that if your immigrant visa is available, and it is definitely available because people who are just now becoming current on the visa bulletin in F2A category for all chargeability are in June 2021. And your priority date is back in December 2019, which means that you have been current for quite a long time now. For a very long time now. So you were just documentarily qualified. Let me see when it was opened up, 2023, and you were just documentarily qualified. So let me ask you, did you experience any delays in your case? Because that's what kind of seems to me, because you've been current for quite a while now. And you were documentarily qualified back in 2021, which means that, and right now they're opening up for September 2023. Yeah, it does seem like you had some kind of delay. So did you experience any delays with NVC becoming documentarily qualified or anything like this? Regardless, I would definitely reach out to the U.S. Embassy in, let's take a look where it is. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's in Liberia or not. Let's see, U.S. Embassy. Because, yeah, I would, unless they're experiencing some kind of significant delays in scheduling the interviews, there you go, Liberia. Okay, so here's the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia. So I would definitely give them a call. Let them know that you have been documentarily qualified, you're in F2A, you have been documentarily qualified for close to 3 years now, and your immigrant visa has been, you've been current on the visa bulletin for close to 2 years now. And you still have no interview scheduled, which I would not expect, I mean, unless I don't know something about Liberia, Monrovia, but I would not expect it to be so busy, the U.S. Embassy, where they experience such delays on cases. So yeah, I would definitely reach out directly to them. Just be polite, be professional over the phone. Say, hey, just was wondering, my everything is done. I'm documentarily qualified. Been current. Just wanted to see when my interview date was scheduled for, because yeah, that's a little bit long, because typically it's between 6 to 12 months, especially for F2A categories, because after all, F2A, it's spouses and children, all right, of permanent residents. So again, unless I don't know something about Liberia, Monrovia, U.S. Embassy there, unless they're experiencing some kind of crazy delays, or they really are limited on staff and cannot schedule that many interviews, I'm not sure. But I would really appreciate if somebody else is from Monrovia and they had their interview scheduled. I would really appreciate somebody chiming in and letting us know how long they waited for it. Because yeah, that seems a little bit long. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And in fact, before I do, let me edit this, and I'm gonna post the link so that you don't have to look for it. There we go. All right, so now we're ready to move on to the next one from user EI1EE. Thank you so much for the update, sir. You're very welcome. I'm glad this was helpful. Moving further to user, again, no name. Thanks to YouTube. My priority date 23 December 2021 and documentary qualified email 19 July 2023. When I can get my interview appointment, please reply me. I'm from Bangladesh. My husband is green card holder USA. Okay, so you're in F2A category and you have been already documentarily qualified July 2023, so almost a year ago, and the priority date is in December 2021. So Bangladesh, let me double check something. Bangladesh, I'm gonna open this one, because I might say, hey, reach out to these guys. So you should be in all chargeability area, Bangladesh F2A. So we are looking at June 21 as well. So June 21, and you are in December 2021. Oh, I see. Okay, so you are not current yet on, wait a second, June and you're in December. Okay, yeah, so you have about 6 more months. Hopefully, if we see a consistent movement on the visa bulletin. If we do see a consistent movement 1 month, every month, you have about 6 more months to wait before your priority date becomes current. After your priority date becomes current, that's when they schedule the interview. So Bangladesh, I'm pretty sure it's pretty busy US Embassy in Bangladesh. So it might take another year, possibly year and a half before you actually get your interview date announced to you, because like I said earlier in this video, it's only 30 days before the actual interview date that you get your interview notification. Very rarely it is 60 days, but most of the times it is 30 days. So yeah, you still have a little bit of time, 6 months, and then roughly it's a very rough estimate, because honestly, the best, if someone from Bangladesh can comment on this, if they had their interview scheduled, that would be the best, because that's someone who is there, that's someone who actually, because if somebody waited, a year and a half for their interview and they're in F2A category, chances are that's what you're close to what you're looking at for the interview to be scheduled. All right, let's move on to the next one from Amanda Bruce. Hi sir, year for priority was wrong, but I'm documentarily qualified in November 2022 and priority is October 20th, 2016. All chargeability area. Thanks you in advance. Okay, Amanda, so what is your family preference category? Priority was wrong. Okay, so Amanda, I'm gonna definitely need additional information. So for everyone, if you're asking for estimates on the visa bulletin, I need 3 things. I need the family preference category, F1, F2A, F2B, F3, whatever, priority date, and then the chargeability area. So please, Amanda, if you can, need more info, I'm gonna type it in here, more info, and I'll put this as well. Okay, Oracle 3875, hello, thanks for the good work. I made enough last year for my AGI and my family's petition was approved and documentarily qualified. But this year I couldn't make enough and it's almost to nothing. Please, will that affect my family when they go to the interview, since I didn't make enough this year as a self-employed? Thanks. Oracle, that's a great question, and I appreciate another comment from you. So here's the thing. You are already documentarily qualified, which is definitely great news, which is definitely in your favor. The documents that you present during the interview are the documents that you have presented for documentary qualification. It is the same tax returns, the same tax transcripts that you bring for an interview that have been submitted for the documentary qualification. Here's the thing. It is at the discretion of the consul, and 100% there is a chance that you bring your 2023 tax returns or 2022 and 2021 tax returns, and they look at them and say, yeah, but where's 2023 tax returns? I need to see those. There is a chance for that, absolutely. But the cases that I've personally seen, the cases that I've personally worked with, they only look at the documents that have been submitted for documentary qualification. With that being said, here's what I would recommend. Definitely don't stress out too much about it, but 2 folders, and I recommended it in interview video. I'll probably make an updated one, but 2 folders. 1 folder with all the documents that you have been documentary qualified with. Yes, all the civil documents, obviously, but also the financial documents. So the tax returns, the tax transcripts for 2022 and 2021, I'm assuming. Because the 2023, I'm thinking, is the one that you are not too happy with. And then a separate folder with the tax return, tax transcript for 2023. You present whatever you were documentary qualified with. If additional information is asked, specifically if additional tax returns are asked, say, yeah, oh yeah, of course, I brought them as well. And then you show, and then of course you will have to do some explaining, which is not as hard to do because you are self-employed, and I completely understand that because I've been self-employed for the past 13 years now, 12 years now. So I definitely understand that you get a good year and then you're like great, and the next year is complete disaster. So it definitely happens, which again, the council, it depends on them whether they will understand it or not. Hopefully they do, but if you have that prepared, that's already a plus. I have never seen a case where they said, "Oh no, you don't make enough money in this most recent tax return," because I never seen them ask for the most recent tax return besides what was submitted for documentary qualification. But if you want to be extra safe, then potentially see if you can, in advance, find someone who might agree to be a joint sponsor on your case. Just in case, if the worst case scenario happens and they look into your taxes and say, "Oh no, that's not enough on your most recent one," they ask for the most recent one, they look at it, they sit there, they dig into the numbers, and they say, "No, that is not enough." So what they documentarily qualified you with, we say no. NVC doesn't know what they're doing, so we're gonna send it back to the NVC. We're gonna undocumentarily qualify you, so you have to redocumentarily qualify with the most recent tax returns. Then you can use your joint sponsor. But again, this is a very slim and rare chance. So yeah, as long as you're prepared with everything and you're already documentarily qualified, I think you should be good to go. But again, please, if you can, submit an update. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, was your interview already scheduled? Because another thing is how much past time you've been waiting for. Because if you're waiting for 2-3 years for your interview, which is rare, but you see some people are waiting as long as that, there is more chance for the council to look at it and say, well, it's been 2-3 years past you were documentarily qualified, unless they really want to be difficult. And sometimes they do. Sometimes it's all people. So they wake up someday and their coffee doesn't taste as good, and they decide to treat other people like they feel themselves, unfortunately. But sometimes it happens. So yeah, it's definitely better to be prepared 100%. So with that being said, thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully these videos do help you get prepared more for with your immigration cases. Feel a little bit more encouraged. And because like I said, I'm an immigrant myself. I've been through all of this myself. Definitely know how it feels to be disappointed in the system, to be disappointed in immigration lawyers and attorneys that most of the times they only care about making money from you, from your stress, from your difficulties, your family difficulties, and what it feels like to wait and wait to see your children, to see your family. So yeah, if this helps someone, that's a blessing for me. So God bless everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.